Hey guys, I decided to make a video of my symptoms of borderline personality. Sorry. And also what borderline personality is, because I know there's a lot of people out there, like, I tell them I have it and they're like, "What?" And they automatically go to Sybil and all kinds of stuff. So I am going to read what the thing says, the diagnostic manual. Borderline personality disorder is a condition in which people have long-term patterns of unstable or turbulent emotions, such as feelings about themselves and others. These inner experiences often cause them to take impulsive actions and have chaotic relationships. Okay. Basically, we're emotionally unstable. That's basically what it's saying. Sorry, I'm out of breath for some reason. Symptoms. There are actually, let me find a different one. This will be good. Okay. Okay. People with BPD are often uncertain about their identity. As a result, their interests and values change rapidly. They also tend to see things in terms of extremes, such as either all good or all bad. Their views of other people may change. A person who is looked up to one day may be looked down on the next. These sudden shifting feelings often lead to intense and unstable relationships. Basically, if I've had this happen many times, when I'm in a relationship with someone and say they're my world, I love them, in any relationship, if the person cheats on you, you're gonna be pissed and mad. But if you do that to a borderline like myself, you're basically dead. Like, there's no recovering from it. Like, I have had people cheat on me. I don't talk to them anymore. I block them. I delete them. They're dead to me. They've fallen off the edge of the world. They're no longer, they were my everything. Now they're my nothing. Like, I don't, no. So don't piss us off. There are 6 symptoms of borderline personality, and in order to have borderline personality, you have to have 4. In my case, I think I have 5. I might have all. Let me read them. Okay. First symptom, fear of being abandoned. I have that very, very much. If I come home and my mom is not home, and neither is my sister, and I call her and ask where they are, they'll be like, "Oh, we're at my friend's house." And I'm like, "Well, why wasn't I invited?" And they're like, "Well, you weren't home." And I would be like, "You could have called." And I would get so upset because I felt like they just didn't care. They left without telling me. They're just whatever. Number 2, feelings of emptiness and boredom. I get bored very easily. Very, very easily. And sometimes you just get in the haze where you just feel like nothing. Number 3, frequent displays of inappropriate anger. I have this one bad. I've scared my mom and my sister, like, not even like jokingly scared, like, they've been scared because of how angry I can get over small things. It can be simple things like I'll come home and the front door will be locked. Even though people are home, the front door will be locked and I'll have to get out my key. That pisses me off. I don't know why, but it does. And then my whole day's ruined. It's awful. Impulsiveness with money, substance abuse, sexual relationships, binge eating, or shoplifting. Okay. In order to have BPD, you have to have at least 2 of those. I have impulsiveness with money. I spend money very, very bad. If I'm bored, which happens a lot, I will just be like, I'm gonna go to Walmart, and I'll end up spending like $100. I'll go to the pet store to get a toy. I'll come out with like a collar and all kinds of stuff. The other one is binge eating. I have a habit of eating and then throwing up. Happens a lot, especially because of my medicine. My medicine makes me eat a lot, and so I've gained weight because of it, and I'm very, very self-conscious about that, and I don't like it. I wish I was back to the way I was. I don't like this. So I think I've developed that because of that reason. Intolerance of being alone. I hate being alone. If it's me and my sister home, by ourselves, and we're in our rooms, I'll leave my room, go into my sister's room, and just sit there on the bed. I won't talk. I won't do anything. I'll just sit there because I do not want to be alone. Oh, excuse me. When I lived with my dad, I couldn't swallow. When he went to like a doctor's appointment, I would go to my mom's. When he got back, I would go back to his. I did not want to be alone. I just don't like it. It plays back to that fear of abandonment. Repeated crisis and acts of self-injury, such as wrist cutting or overdosing. I do not do that. I do not self-injure. I used to a very long time ago, but I do not anymore. I don't know why. I know there's still that urge to do it, and I honestly don't think that ever goes away. But I don't do it. I prevent myself. I do things like, I hold ice cubes in my hand. I get a red Sharpie and draw where I want to cut or whatever. And then I draw up with a black Sharpie. They look like stitches. And then I wash them off the next day and there's no scars. Because the next day I'm like, why did I even do that? And there's another one, which is periods of paranoia and dissociation. This happens to me sometimes, not a lot. It's like, you'll have time, like an out-of-body experience. I've had times where I get really bad tunnel vision, and basically in my mind I'm thinking, what am I doing? And it's basically like, you're here, I'm here, but I'm not controlling what I'm saying or what I'm doing. I can see what's going on, but it's not me. I don't know if that makes any sense whatsoever. And that happens a lot when I get angry too. It's like someone else takes over your body and you can't control it. And then when that personality leaves, you revert back to that sad child because you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I'm sorry. And that happens a lot. I know that there's a sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you have an inner voice in your head. You can call it audible hallucination, whatever you want to call it, but sometimes you have it, and sometimes it's your own voice, sometimes it's someone else's voice, but it's just a little voice that encourages you sometimes to do good things and bad things, and you have to ignore the bad things. Signs and tests. Like other personality disorders, BPD is diagnosed based on psychological evaluation and the history of symptoms. I had a psychological evaluation in November. It took them about 5 weeks to get back to me. And it came back, borderline personality disorder, major depressive disorder. So that was very, I don't know the word, validating. Because for so long I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I'm crazy. I'd be in my room on the floor crying hysterically, not being able to stop for hours. And I didn't know what was going on, why I felt this way. Treatments. Many types of individual talk therapies, such as DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, can successfully treat BPD. In addition, group therapy can help change self-destructive behaviors. Borderline personality disorder is a personality disorder. It is who you are. It is the way the experiences in your life has shaped the way that you think. And so in turn, it's not something like schizophrenia that you can just drug away and give you a pill and you'll be fine. It's not a chemical imbalance in your brain. It's who you are. You basically do not, it says successfully treat. It does not mean get rid of. It means that you learn how to deal with them. You learn how to handle your symptoms and you learn how to get along with it. In some cases, medications can help level mood swings, treat depression, or other disorders. Now, of course, with BPD, you're going to have depression. That's just a given. Medications do help. Citalopram, amazing stuff. I love it. I've been through many, many depressions because I was diagnosed with depression at age 9. I had a very traumatic experience, and I was diagnosed with depression. Prognosis. The outlook depends on how severe the condition is and whether the person is willing to accept help. With long-term therapy, the person will often gradually improve. I am working on dialectical behavioral therapy. I have therapy once a week. I love therapy. Oh my gosh, I love it. I look forward to it. It's very helpful. Someone I can talk to that won't judge me and will actually talk to me back and stuff like that. Complications. Depression. We've already talked about that. It's going to happen. Drug abuse. People who have borderline get really, really mad at themselves because they feel like they're going crazy that they decide to self-medicate with drugs, alcohol, illegal drugs, prescription drugs, over-the-counter drugs, like any type of drug or alcohol that will help them get through it. Problems with work, family, and social relationships. This illness can cause a very, very strong strain on families and relationships because the family members and the person in the relationship, they can feel that they are the object of the person's anger for no reason at all. They get scared to even talk to them or even do anything because they're scared they're going to set them off. They're scared to leave them alone. So it's very, very tough on them, as well as the person with borderline. Suicide attempts and actual suicide. I've never done that. I don't want to do that. I love life. But there are people out there that do go crazy. Not go crazy, but they feel like they're going crazy and they feel like there's no way out. Borderline personality disorder is a very, very, very unknown disorder. It's been said that there are more borderlines out there than bipolar disorder. I don't know if that's true, but not many people know about borderline personality, and it is actually the #1 most feared diagnosis of physicians, psychiatrists, therapists. Most people don't want to even go near a person with borderline because we are so impulsive and unpredictable, and we have a greater tendency to self-harm. Out of the, I think, like 25% of people that harm themselves, if you're borderline, you're like 70-80% more likely to self-harm. I don't really know what else to say. I feel like I've been rambling. I really hope that this has helped you. Oh, I have had people inquire, as you will, about what my tattoo means. As you know, or maybe some of you don't know, Phoenix dies and turns into a pile of ashes, and then from the ashes it's reborn. With borderline personality, sometimes you do feel that you are dead. You really do. I don't know how to describe it. You could just be laying in bed and you feel dead. But you always come through. If you stick it out, you will always, always, always come through. Whether it be in an hour, whether it be like in a week, you will always come through. And it's very fulfilling afterwards. It feels like you're being reborn out of the ashes. You're alive again. So that's basically what it means. I have blue eyes. I had the guy give the Phoenix a blue eye because I'm the Phoenix. Borderline personality, ribbon. That's another thing. The, what was it? Let me find it. Person who's looked up to one day, maybe looked down the next. That is termed as black and white thinking. Black and white thinking is, there is no gray. There is no. It's either all bad or all good. There is no, sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good. Sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people do good things. It's not that. It's you're bad, you're good. That's it. So the borderline personality disorder ribbon is gray, for gray thinking. We want gray thinking. So yes, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. My therapist actually told me that she is shocked that I am so open about this, and it's not something that I'm excited about it, but it's not something that, you know, I'm gonna go around and parade and stuff like that, but it is definitely something that I am happy about because it's an answer to a problem I've been dealing with for years of wondering why I did not trust people, why I was so clingy to certain people, why that clinginess often resulted in my demise, basically, of that relationship, whether that be with a date or with my family. Why I think the way I do, why I have impulses the way I do. So it was definitely, because I really did feel like I was going crazy. I really did. There was a time where I was so crazy. I was so hysterically crying and screaming at my mom. She told me she was going to take me to the hospital and admit me into the psych ward. It's been that bad. Sometimes I do feel like I want to go to a psych ward because then I would have the medication I need. I would have people there all the time to help me. I would get help with a therapist on a regular basis instead of once a week. But I didn't really feel like eating that kind of food and being with other crazy people. Even though I think that would be interesting to see what it is like. Not necessarily to stay there, but just like go see what it's like. Because the movies, I know it's not true, but the movies make it look like, you know, it's like a dorm. So anyways, I'm going to get off because I have homework. I actually have psychology in the morning. So, you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I really hope this has helped you guys understand it. So maybe you understand. If you know me personally, then you understand more of why I am the way I am. And to people out there that have borderline, I'm here. I know what you're going through. I love you. And just shoot me a message, and I'm glad to talk to you. So, yeah, I think that's it. Bye.